While the world is changing fast, an increasing number of countries are seeking better relations with Russia and China, including countries that are traditional allies of the US, such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And while many countries can see the shift in the global balance of power and hence apply to join the BRICS economic bloc, there is one country in the world which I share its ethnicity. Its leadership is consistently trying to distance itself from Russia and antagonize Moscow since the 2018 color revolution in the Southern Caucasus, and that country is Armenia. First things first, I am not pro-Russia. I am pro-Armenian interests, and therefore I am for good relations with the East and the West in a troubled region where global powers such as Russia, the US, Israel, Iran, Turkey, and Azerbaijan are competing for influence, for gas pipelines, and for trade routes. The current Pashinyan leadership believes that Armenia's future is with the US and NATO, which many argue is a dying empire. But unlike many wise leaders around the world, Pashinyan has a different geopolitical worldview. He thinks antagonizing the only force that is standing between the Armenians of Artsakh and the Azeri ethnic cleansing policy towards the Armenians of Artsakh is a good idea. He believes refusing to host the CSTO military drills on Armenian territories while allowing American drills on the Armenian territory is a good idea.
This administration has made it very clear that they believe that Armenia's future is with the West, with NATO, and obviously that means with Turkey. They have said from when the November 9th agreement was signed that, this is a new era. It's going to be the peace era. We're going to have internet connectivity with Turkey and Azerbaijan. We're going to have open borders. And if you talk to members of their administration, they say this is a good thing. This is a good direction to go into. But the issue is they don't have a partner in Azerbaijan and Turkey. They don't have a willing partner. They are not looking for peace. They make it very clear, and they say it over and over publicly, that they claim Yerevan even as their historical land, even though they also claim to be the descendants of the Seljuk conquerors, which means they came from somewhere else. But we don't need to go into all of that. They see the future more with, and now I'm going back to talking about the Pashinyan administration. They're looking west. They see that as Armenia's future. And they've tried to sell this to people by saying that, it's not Turkey we're inviting in, because, instinctively Armenians will see that as a red flag. They promise things like an EU observer mission. But it's especially, I think it's hard for people to even conceptualize, especially for Armenians, that such a thing could be possible in Armenia. But they found their guys, and I think some of them maybe are more ideologically tied to this idea that the future is with the West. They're not the most up-to-date people, and some of them, there could be other, factors. I don't want to speculate. I'm not in these people's heads, but this is what's happening on the ground. What's happening on the ground is you have an administration that would rather see its own people possibly expelled from their homeland, and get rid of Russia, what they see as the Russian yoke, then and deal with Turks.
He thinks sending his wife to Kiev for photo shooting session with Zelensky's wife under the guise of sending humanitarian aid to the Ukrainians, whereas Zelensky supports the Azeri blockade on 120,000 Armenians in Artsakh, is a good idea. On the other hand, Iran, which repeatedly expressed interest in cooperating with the Armenian side to counter the Azeri and Israeli plot in the region, has found deaf ears in Yerevan. My Armenian friends, this Armenian policy will lead to one concrete outcome. The Armenians will lose Artsakh completely, and the Azeri aggressions will move inside Armenian territories, and in a few decades, and some say even less, Armenians of the region will be completely wiped out or swallowed by Turkey and Azerbaijan, and the pan-Turanic dream will come true. I am not speculating here. I'm telling you what Erdogan said he is willing to do just a few years ago. So better wake up now.
Gönül coğrafyamızın kalbi olarak görüyoruz. Bu salonda atan nabız bütün bu coğrafyanın nabzıdır. İzmir'de yanan meşale bütün bu coğrafyayı aydınlatan meşaledir. Anadolu'nun işgale başlandığı yerde, Anadolu'nun istiklale kavuştuğu yerde işte burasıdır, İzmir'dir. Kardeşlerim, İzmir'in dağlarında çiçekler açar diyoruz ya. O çiçekler bizim istiklal aşkımızın çiçekleridir. Birliğimizin, dirliğimizin çiçekleridir. Onun için İzmir'in hudutları bu güzel ilimizin fiziki coğrafyasıyla izah edilemeyecek genişliktedir, derinliktedir. Bize göre İzmir'in sınırları Viyana'dan başlar, Adriyatik kıyılarından başlar, Doğu Türkistan'dan başlar, Karadeniz'in kuzeyinden başlar.
İndiki Ermənistan bizim torpağımızdır. Və mən bunu dəfələrlə deyəndə sonra mənə irad tuturlar, çalışırlar irad tutmağı ki, mənim ərazi iddiam var. Mən bunu tarixi həqiqət kimi deyirəm. Və bununla paralel olaraq mən hesab edirəm ki, birgə səylərlə biz Qərbi Azərbaycana qayıdış konsepsiyasında işləməliyik. İndi Qarabağ münaqişəsi həll olunandan sonra bizim gündəlimizdə duran məsələ budur.